So today I'm going to be giving you guys the close range meta for Splitgate, and I actually calculated this using a lot of different methods and algorithms. So if you guys enjoy this video and you think it's helpful for you, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'll call back to this later, but just check this out. So you can see I have right here the first 3 SMGs you unlock for each of the factions. We have the Phasma, we have the Sprinter, and we have the Rattler. Now, what I did is I jumped into a recording and recorded myself in private matches on Nuketown because it just felt so familiar for me for the Call of Duty audience. And we recorded how long it took to kill each player, and I measured the time to kill using how many frames we're using, because we only can record in 60 FPS, sadly. But recording in 60 FPS, we can get a rough estimate of the milliseconds per bullet. Now, we measure that time, and then we take that final number and then put it into a formula where we take the shot and then multiply it by the actual frames to get ourselves, and I'm simplifying this a lot, by the way, to get ourselves the TTK for a base 100 health. I then also took the time today to join in on the subreddit where we did a AMA with Ian and went over some of the things that wondering, because I'm doing a TTK spreadsheet and trying to find all the metas for this game. So again, if you want to find out the rest of the metas, make sure you guys subscribe. But we went through, and what we got from Akuvo, because he tagged Akuvo because Ian wasn't 100% sure, is that when you have white armor, you get an additional 20 HP per plate, adding up to 60 HP. Then each armor upgrade adds another 5 health to each plate, giving you an additional 15 health per bar. So every armor upgrade adds 15 health, essentially. This means when you're all said and done, you get a total at gold armor of 220 health. So we can calculate the actual health per armor kit using a very complicated algorithm. After going through and actually recording all of these and measuring them, I was able to figure that out. So here we are with my spreadsheet. Now, you can see the characters affiliated with each weapon, because you can get these weapons just using the character right off the rip. So that way, if you respawn, you'll have them. But I will say, I'm an Arrows player. I prefer Arrows. He comes with Sprinter. It is not the best SMG, although you may think so, based on the actual frames it takes to fire each bullet. But I'm going to show you guys in a second why this is wrong. So you can see the Rattler takes 10 bullets to kill, the Sprinter takes 11, the Phasma takes 11. Because of that, we have 7 frames per bullet for the first bullet. That matters, because the Rattler actually has a wind-up. So I made a note here at the end saying it has a wind-up. The Sprinter has an inconsistent FPS rate. So this means, on average, it takes 4 frames per bullet to fire. But sometimes it took 6, sometimes it took 2. It's a weird situation, but if you average it out, it came to about 4 per bullet in the time to kill. With that being said, the Sprinter, if you had no armor, would be the fastest time to kill, following with the Rattler, and then finally the Phasma, which I don't suggest anyone use because its bullet velocity is so low. It's like a 70 millisecond bullet velocity at close range. So it really hurts to use that gun. Obviously, we're in a BR. You might have to use what you have to use. Why does this matter? Well, there actually is a full algorithm that I looked at. And as the windup happens, the first bullet, it takes 7 frames. The second bullet is 6 frames. The third bullet is 5 frames. And then the fourth on is only 4 frames, making it the fastest TTK after 4 bullets. But not just after the 4, because you can see here, if it was just that, you would have 66 milliseconds between each bullet, making it a 600 TTK if you started hitting your shots after the 4th bullet. But if you take into account the windup, which I did, you can see here, I actually made an algorithm for the Rattler and the Sprinter with their averages. You could see with the damage per bullet, not only is the Rattler a higher bullet damage, but when you add armor, it becomes the fastest time to kill, beating the Sprinter by about 33 milliseconds when you're at white armor. When you go to green armor, it's still about 30, still about 30 at blue, still about 30 at purple, and a full 100 at gold. The Rattler comes out on top in all of them. Now, between the Rattler and the Sprinter, it is a very close TTK. So you could get away with either one. I would stay away from this Phasma. The Phasma not only is a full 300 milliseconds behind the Sprinter, making it dead last, but because of that low bullet velocity, this thing is not going to fry. It is going to have a lot of issues, and you're going to have to lead your shots in some fights. It's tough. It's tough. So, if you have any question about what is the meta, it is the Rattler. And the way we figured this out, just so I can show you guys completely, is, like I said, we recorded it. And then I took this and I counted the frames between each bullet. So you can see here with the Phasma, you count the frames when the bullet is fired. So right there, the bullet was fired. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 frames it took for the bullet to actually reach. Now, this is not me even calculating it with the time it takes for the Phasma to actually hit the player. Because if I was to do that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th frame, it hits. So you want to add additionally 5 frames to that hit because you're not always going to be this close in an engagement. So the Phasma could be even worse, but I didn't go and do that. I left it as is and didn't count the frames for the actual bullet velocity because it just felt like it would be overkill since it was already so low on this time to kill. But yeah, this puts the Rattler at the top, making Sabresk, I believe that's how you say his name, a go-to pick for the actual characters when you're going into a game. Now, if you're purely basing your character off of the weapon they come with, then we're having some bigger issues because operators or, factions, whatever you will call them, they have so many abilities that if you're a, better Arrows player or Meridian player, you're going to want to use those characters and just try to find yourself a Rattler. Just keep in mind, this is what you should be doing. And I will say, this doesn't take into account rapid fire. But if you do add rapid fire to any of these weapons, and I could calculate this in another video if you guys want me to do that, I'm sure that it would still put the Rattler on top because if all of these have rapid fire, they're still going to have similar TTKs competition-wise. So that about does it, though. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you gained any information off of this. And let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to do ARs next, if you want me to go to battle rifles, if you want me to do the DMRs. Just let me know because I'm really trying my best to cover everything, that is Splitgate. And this takes a lot of time. So a subscribe and a like are super appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video.